This is my brief review on the Stephen King book It, as well as some brief references of the 1990s made-for-TV movies with John Ritter et al. Okay, so this book is 1,200 pages long. Let's see. 1,153. So somebody had brought up online that they saw Donnie Darko and the woman that was reading, the mother was reading a copy of this book from 1986 or 87 or whatever that movie was supposed to have taken place. And it was a little scrawny paperback. This is not a little scrawny paperback. But what's interesting is that I thought I had a copy, an audio book on my phone probably got it from the library. And I don't remember 44 hours of material. I remember about 10, so something happened between A and B. At any rate, let's see what I bookmarked here. There's a few scenes that I'm not happy about. There's a lot of N-word. So if I realize it's a time and a place, 1958, that wasn't exactly uncommon usage. On a good day, you would have got the C word, which would be colored. So it's pretty much, I've counted at least 24 times, and I'm not sure that all those times are necessary. That's just my opinion on the matter. I'm getting an average of a couple hundred pages a day because I listen to it. I have it from the library. They have audio downloads and unabridged. So I listened to it from the library, and then I can kind of follow through on the book here that I got from the library also. So at any rate, let's see. Day one, I made it to this would have been day two. I believe I started on Friday. So probably a few hundred pages there. And Saturday, another few hundred pages. Sunday was 433, page 433 to 654. So obviously not much going on Sunday. He goes into there's a number of things in the backstories about people in the characters and the, peripheral characters, like the guy's wife and the other guy's, the woman's husband and whatnot. It has nothing to do with the story. So he was the one that wrote a book called On Writing, if you guys remember, and it's a very good book, and I highly recommend, getting it from the library and reading through it or whatever. I think I have a CD copy that I put onto my phone. I ripped it. And he was the one that quoted, kill your darlings. I don't remember who said that, but he quotes that, and that's where I heard it from On Writing. Okay? Let's review. This is 1,200 pages. There's at least half of this that could have gone, as far as I'm concerned. I'm obviously not bored with it if I'm on page 945, but this is not necessary, okay? So he goes on to this whole thing about the Derry, Maine, the evilness of the town itself, the way that it perpetuates and the way that it's part of the town. He said he got his inspiration for this book from the Billy Goat Gruff thing, with the who's that tripping over my bridge kind of thing, and that was supposedly where this came from. So he goes into this whole thing about the Bradley gang that gets murdered by the townspeople, no less. And I was kind of thinking, well, what does that have to do with the story? And it goes on and on and on and on. And so the clown was there, obviously, because the clown is ancient, or at least very, very old. And he goes on about that for quite some time. There's at least one or two scenes involving some sort of animal, torture and or mutilation and whatnot. So we have that skip function on your phone, chapters. I skipped right past that because there was a lot. There was at least two, like I said, rather extended scenes. And fictional or not, personally, you can decapitate all the people you want, mutilate them, skin them alive. I don't care. But I don't like anything having to do with animals. Animals are innocent, and I don't know of any people that are, right? So, at any rate, he uses the word apoplexy incorrectly. So it means unconscious incapacity from a stroke or incapacity for speaking from extreme anger. So he's using apoplectic as very excited, and that's not what's in Webster's online. Yeah, for whatever that's worth. Let's see. So Ben, the hefty kid, he does a lot of stuff that looks to me. He obviously becomes a well-known architect later on, in the books and in the movie as well. But it doesn't figure prominently into the made-for-TV movie, and I didn't really hear any mention of it on the other movie as well. But he goes into these things, about how to build dams and whatnot, and I was kind of thinking, the more he talks about it, the more he goes into it. It's like, well, wait a minute, doesn't that sound like a structural engineer? It doesn't sound like any architect that I know, right? So, let's see. Oh, so, every so often he gets off some good lines. Like I said, otherwise I wouldn't be sitting here for 944 pages. On page 859, he wrote, a hopeful look like a man who knows nothing about engines will look at a mechanic, which I thought was pretty comical. So let's see here. Like I said, there was a number of things that, oddly enough, I didn't remember, because I've read this, or at least I thought I read it, on audiobook at least twice since 1986, because I remember when it came out, and I think I got my copy from my mother, back then. This is a lot. You can, there's people waiting for this book, and it's coming back, and I didn't care for the newest movie personally. I don't know, maybe I'm just too old, because the 1990, even with the silly, quote unquote silly claymation, I really enjoyed the 1990 movie. I didn't like when they had Mike, the African American guy, murdering sheep in the 1990 movie or something along those lines. I remember something about it, and I was, nope. It's just me. I know, and skin all the people you want, shoot them, stab them. I don't, fictional people, I don't care. Okay, don't care. But animals, nope, done. Can't do it. So at any rate, hopefully I said something useful. And I believe it's worth a pass. So if you get it from the library, or borrow it from somebody or whatever, there's plenty of copies of this. This is a lot, like I said. And they do have audio downloads. So that is another option. If you have a long commute, it'll give you something to do. At any rate, like I said, he's got a lot of interesting lines. It's well enough to keep your attention. But again, a lot of material here. I mean, if you try to hold this with one hand for any length of time, I think, it's just really, this is a lot. Look at the size of this thing. It's ridiculous, okay? I can't imagine walking around with this thing, while you're taking your dogs out or whatever, walking with this huge, enormous book. Yeah, not happening. Okay, so thanks for watching, and make sure you subscribe.